I have taken a wrong route. The change actually had to start with me. I had to become a different kind of leader.
I am so gobsmacked right now because just that level of like ownership, it's really tough. And I can only imagine what that felt like for you. Because it's one thing to acknowledge that, and then it's another thing to start dismantling what you built in a sense, right? Because you've been working that way for such a long time, leading that way for such a long time. So you created this thing. And then this realization was the first time when you're realizing, maybe this wasn't the best approach after all. But to start that process of reimagining, I can only, tell us what was in what kind of things were you saying to yourself to navigate that process? What was that dialogue?
Can I add to that as well? Is where did you find the courage where did you find the courage? Because you're also in this big company structure where crazy rich, you're about to now start to dismantle a system. You're about to dismantle a system. So where did you find the courage?
Yeah, well, it came from probably two key sources. Number one, because one of my team members asked me that same question about 6 months into the change when we knew it was working. And this guy had been on the team for 30 years, right? I think he thought he should have been the guy in the VP position, but I got the job. And so I think he was watching me trying to figure out, like, could I have done what Rich did, right? I mean, holy cow, in 6 months, we made this massive change. So he comes into my office one day and sits down with me and he asked me the exact same question. He says, where did you get the courage to do this? He says, I get it now, it's working, but you had no idea at the beginning this was going to work this well. Where did that come from? And I said, David, it was easy. And he's like, how was that easy? You put everything on the line. You put the title, the job, the paycheck, the stock options, everything. I said, David, you're looking at the wrong thing. I said, what was at risk was in here. I knew I couldn't keep going like this for another 30 years. I was in my late 30s at that point. I had another 30 years of career ahead. I knew it would kill me. So I looked at him, I said, David, I realized that the risk of staying the same was far greater than the risk of change. So I wasn't running towards risk. I was running towards safety. And once you cross a bridge like that in your mind, you just start running faster and faster. And that's what I did.